nhớ xong ít xong phong gì sợ phật lời hay cho tôi sai nó có việc kiều nhau mong lái đứa nó rong xa được cả ta cụ tàu lúc sẽ lần đầu ít tu lúa thẳng ná mấy tu bao cũng schedule tới giờ thì tàu nó lấy so nó giờ kiều live from Arizona and mon nó có tu special guest này ít tu lúa cái này rong trâu hay nè hai này này giờ luôn model cho hồ lúc mong nụ vào giờ tôi nó chỉ cụ sẽ sáng anh tụi này thẳng đây này số mấy sale bao hoa tận hiện từ na halu sẽ hở nó giờ lưu check lưu sẽ hở cứ chỗ thì sẽ mong nụ vào bây giờ tôi bây giờ lúc sau giờ tôi nãy chị cụ sẽ sáng từ đầu sáng cho một interview cho candidate là cho model hay cho singer nó nãy on stage cho mình sai nè so I'm going to bring Alex Phom here and to start the interview. So I'm excited. So he's in a show with me. So hang in there, and I'm going to bring Alex. Um, Hi, Alex. So I need to unmute you. Hold on.
Oh,
Okay, there you go. All
no
right.
worries.
How are you today?
Good, I'm good. It's been a long day. I
Yeah,
appreciate you for having me on here. It's exciting.
great. So where are you live from anyway?
Say it again.
Where's your hometown?
Hometown. I am born and raised in Portland, Oregon. I currently live in Washington. So whenever I go, it's such a funny story because a lot of my acting gigs, when I go and travel, it's usually in California. So when my fans and followers ask where I'm from, they're like, "Oh, I thought you were from Fresno. I thought you were from California." But nope, I'm in the PNW, the Portland Northwest,
You're actually over there.
Pacific Northwest. Sorry.
And I noticed your last name is Palm. So tell us your background. Your last name is not Hmong, obviously. So what are you, or who are you?
So I'm very new to the scene. I recently, it was last year when I started my TikTok, and that's when I jumped into the scene. And it was just this March where I did my first music video, and I acted with Dita Tao,
Hmm.
and everyone didn't know I was Hmong because my name was Alex Palm, but I'm half Hmong and half Lao. My mom is Hmong and my dad is Lao. And
Okay.
back in 2010, I actually got my name changed. So I grew up with the name Vang up until 2010, and then I had it changed to Pamavan. And then
Okay. So
Pam
the
is for short.
ah, okay.
Yeah.
So how có cho lùm món nế cả hà bộ tàu ha?
Yeah, I have Pamamea. And
Ở lùm
so, yeah, I'm slowly improving. I'm still shy. And yeah, I'm working on it. It's getting better. It's
à.
way better than it was a year ago.
So,
Yeah.
how involved are you with the, both community, Hmong and Lao? I mean, what does it mean to you to be the community? Because in Dang Hmong, in Dang Lao, này, what's it like for you?
Oh, I think it's a little difficult just because being biracial, being Hmong and Lao, it's my identity is, half and half. So it was really hard growing up, finding out like where I belong, my roots, and two different cultures with so much rich history. And it was just last year until like when I decided, okay, I am going to find out who I am. I'm going to learn about my culture, learn about my history. And so I started diving deep into the Hmong community, Hmong culture. And it's, I grew up, the funny thing is, I grew up in Hmong culture. I grew up around Hmong people. And so it all just came to a full circle when I learned about like traditions and customs. It just clicked.
Ah,
For the Lao community, it's I'm slowly just dipping into it, and it's so fascinating. Like the difference in culture and personality. I'm learning a lot. It's a lot of fun.
what's the difference between the two anyway? I mean, that you could describe with your Hmong and Lao. I mean, what did you find when you start looking?
Oh gosh, I would say that the Hmong community, the connection and the it's it's a lot different in terms of how close. our Hmong community is compared to the Lao. Because I've actually talked to the Lao influencers, and they have stated like um, they're just trying to find the roots and connect with each other. But when you know, like for example, let me narrow this down. So when essentially when Hmong people meet Hmong people, they want to find out who your family is. They want to find out your heritage, your lineage, your family tree. And so that's sort of like the the common communication. And so that connection really builds a bond because they want to know who you are, where you're from. And that is completely different from my experience in the Lao community. Like
Mm,
I don't I don't go and ask my Lao people like, oh, who's your family? Who's your friends? Like, what's your last name? Who's it connect?
mhm,
But when I talk to Hmong people, they want to know all of that. And I just say that the connection is very special in the Hmong
mm.
community.
Like I'm doing
And
right now, isn't it?
yeah, yeah.
A lot like what I'm doing now. Yeah, there's always that curiosity. Okay, who's your grandma? Who's your grandpa? Yeah, and because I think because of that kind of connection, that kind of community, that's how I think we appreciate shows like Mon Nouveau, where you're going to be going, because
Mhm.
it's all about preserving our culture, about preserving our tradition, and all that that's happening right now. Because we feel like if we don't do that, once we're gone, it's going to be gone. So you know um how old fashioned are you anyway? I mean, I'm like, I know I'm old enough to be your mom, but like, are you in a relationship, and are you seeing anybody, or
Yeah.
what is your situation?
So my situation is at the beginning when I started, I kept it on the low because I didn't know I didn't want to. I'm married
Mm,
essentially. I have a wife, and I didn't want her to be put on there because of her privacy. I respected that. And then as things started to grow, she became more comfortable with this entertainment industry lifestyle because it can be kind of overwhelming. So and now I post about her and I post about our relationship, and so yeah, we're married, and not a lot of people know that, but we also do have kids.
mm,
I actually refrain from posting my kids because they're still so young and so little that they don't need the social media exposure. And
mm.
so yeah, I yeah.
Well, given that you're married and you're able to do what you do, and how do you do it? I mean, you must
Oh
have a lot
yeah,
of fans out there, a lot of young screaming young girls out there who are, you know,
yeah.
screaming. So how do you do it? I mean, between you and your wife, I mean, she must be amazing, I'm sure, to have that kind of
Yeah. She's amazing. And at first, like I think like any normal couple would or any spouse would feel is that that feeling of like, oh, like everyone wants my spouse, everyone wants my partner, and it took some time for her to get used to, but I think she's really taken the role well right now because she is involved in everything that I do. She's involved in all the influencing. So, for example, like when we went to Wisconsin for the Mongwasa festival, she was there to help me film with everything, with all the engagement with the community, the vendors, and the festival itself. So, and she, I think she just loves it now. And yeah, it's been really fun.
Great. And was she there? I want to talk about Dita. I mean, I know you did a really, really nice video with Dita. Was
Mhm.
she there, or how did that tell what's the experience like for you?
So my wife wasn't there on the acting trips, and I rather have her not come to the acting trips because it can be the agenda can be so sporadic and like improv, just like with planning. Like we don't know if we're gonna film, if we're like, there's just so much to do. Sometimes if we want to do networking and partying after, or like connecting with other people, or for leisure, and if she's tired, like I keep it business only
Mhm,
when it comes to the acting projects and gigs. But as far as the influencing gigs, like I need her to come because
mhm.
she helps me with content creating, but she
Mm.
wasn't there for the Dita Tao video.
How did that go? Tell us. I mean, it looked really nice, but what was it like when you going, doing that?
It was I was a little shy, like, because it was my first acting gig, first music video, and I'm with someone who's so well established, already famous in the community. Like it was I think I did pretty well as far as like my execution, but I can say honestly I was a little nervous inside because I'm like,
Mm.
I don't know how I'm gonna do. This is my first time. And I just went out there because life is about taking risks, and I was, yeah.
Yeah, and the amazing happened to be the one right? And so
Yeah.
all the people she picked you to be her
Hmm.
家岛. So how did that
Yep, a lot of people. What's funny is because like I've been to a couple of Hmong weddings and Hmong events already, and people will look at me funny, and they're like, and they give me that little look, and they're like, Is that him?" And they'll come up to me, and they'll be like, "Were you the one that was in the music video, Dita?"
Mm.
I'm like, "Yeah, that was me."
Oh boy. When I see you, I'm going to say, so I'm gonna say that when I see you. Oh yeah, that would be
What's funny is
awesome.
I don't know, I don't remember the name of the person who commented on my thing, but she said that she was with you and that she I
Oh,
don't
must
know
be
you.
Isabella, my
Yeah,
co-host.
yeah, okay, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
uh,
Okay, that's who she was. Yeah. Oh.
yeah. We can't wait to see you anyway. I know So, um, well, we. I want to ask you. I know which Mo Nouveau, which line are you modeling for?
Warriors line, right
Warriors
under
line.
I believe the CEO himself, Logan. So
Oh, okay, okay.
yeah.
Oh, so you're gonna name me Logan's. Yeah, the Warriors one. Um,
Mhm.
hopefully there'll be a lot of clothes on.
Yeah. I have no idea. This is my first runway model like opportunity. So I have been asking like my friends who model, like Michelle. Michelle, I actually worked with her. She's the one that did Ngoma, the uh the project that we just worked on.
Mm.
And she like does freelance modeling along with her friend Macy. And I asked them for advice. And so I think I'm going into Mon Nouveau with a good mindset and somewhat of a like, you know, confidence.
Well, it's how do you feel about it? I mean, what's it like for you being accepted into a show like this?
Oh gosh, I could not believe it. It just happened because Chua, she was just commenting on one of my videos and or pictures, and I was like, "Hey," and I threw it out there. I just kind of threw it out there, and I was like, "Yeah, I could do that." Like if you're looking for anybody, that sort of um question, and she was like, "Yeah," like, and I was like, "Okay, I'll message you," and then it just happened so fast, and I was like,
Ah, so that's
and
how you got
yeah,
picked up. Is that it?
yeah,
Wonderful.
yeah, I just threw it out there, and I was like, "Okay," like,
Oh,
and
okay.
that has allowed me to believe, especially with taking this route with my acting, modeling, and influencing career. It's really about taking risks and leaps, and then being okay with the failures that come with it. But as long as, like, for me, as long as I took that risk, I can say that I won't regret it. And so that's what I do with everything that I do now. And doing that and getting my opportunity with Mong Nouveau has kind of translated in everything that I do with all of the acting gigs and influencing gigs. Yeah.
Well, and talk about taking risk. I want to ask you about a Facebook post you released recently had about some personal issues that you have.
Mm-hmm.
You, can we talk about it? You want to share why? And it was a post about it was personal, but
Mm-hmm.
uh, somewhere around the line, I asked you earlier. Can we talk about it?
About
It was a Facebook post you posted. It was something about you.
Oh, okay, okay. About Rocky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. And
Definitely.
what was that about?
Oh gosh, yeah. There's like I said in the beginning, I started last year, and being new to the scene and unknown to everybody, they were like, "Who is this new kid on the block? Like, what is he doing?" And so, starting out, I received a lot of negativity and a lot of hate. Um, but that has really shaped me, and I really grew stronger because of it. And so, growing stronger, it allowed me to create new connections. And along with those connections, I became best friends with Rocky. Rocky is he is a multi-talented superstar in the Hmong community. He fashion designs, he sings, he dances, he does everything. And so we became best friends, and a lot of because we became best friends, we started to receive a lot of trolling and a lot of people who didn't like us together, and we're just best friends. And a lot of people don't know because I feel like we don't need to prove it. We're both heterosexual. So it's just so funny like that people would assume. And I'm like, I guess guys can't be friends with other guys.
So was it assumption that you and Rocky were
Yeah, that we were partners, but
oh,
we're
so that
best
was
friends.
what it's
But
about. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it was that. And so people would troll and say stuff, and I'm like, just let them talk.
Yeah, I see. But I think you handled it pretty well. I mean, just be able to come out and talk about it. And that happens a lot in the community. And there's a question from an audience, and it's Lisa Lee. Hi, Lisa. Lisa asked on the comment says, are you Hmong or Lao or both? And so I think Alex did explain that when we first came online, but do you want to answer that question,
Yeah,
Alex?
yeah. So, Lisa, I am half and half. I am Hmong and Lao. My mom is Hmong and my dad is Lao. And when I started my platforms, it was Alix Phom. And I think that I wasn't doing enough because people would assume I'm just Lao. And so I decided to change my name to Alex Vang Phom just recently. So that'll help my fans and followers know that I'm half Hmong.
Okay, so yeah, so if you have any more questions, go ahead and type it on the comment, and then we'll get to you. But you know, Alex, there's a more questions about. I wanted to ask you a whole bunch of questions, but let me see. When because I know and you're married now, but I didn't know that before we started. So I have some questions for you because of your age group and about what men look for, what boys your age nowadays, when you look at getting married woman, what's it like for you guys these days in terms of dating and whether it's Monger or other, other ethnic, what's it like for you guys your age these days?
I can't really speak for most people's experiences. As far as my own experience, like I've been with my wife. We've been dating since for 12 years now, and we've been married 4 years. And I don't know what it's like to date,
Yeah,
but
okay.
as far as like what I'm seeing from my in-law, like my younger brother-in-law and my brothers, and seeing it from social media, it looks like it seems like it's getting harder and harder to, based on what I'm seeing, harder to find someone that you can really invest into, because everyone's very cautious and careful. And I think that the society is moving forward with just like focusing on yourself, focusing on your like self-care and self-love, and putting themselves first, and which is beautiful because it's hard for two people who have a lot of trauma to come together, like unhealed trauma, and it just it's harder to work things out. But if you work on yourself first before you like find someone, then it's easier. But
Mhm.
yeah, I can't really speak for their experience. That's just based on what I've seen from my brothers and my brother-in-law.
So these days, because it changes. I think it changes from era to era these days.
Hmm.
Um, given what you have learned in life, if someone want to take up like what you're doing right now, what kind of advice would you give them?
Mm. I would say, oh God, that is such a great question.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I would say you have to know who you are truly, because you will be tested. You will be tested of your character, your values and morals, and what you truly want to do in this life. Um, and that everything is a lesson, whether you succeed or fail, or if you get someone who is trolling on you. Um, everything is a lesson. You learn from everyone. You learn from your experiences. Say if you fail, like instead of saying that I failed at something, it's more so I was taught something. And just never to give up, never give up on yourself. And and if you're, say for example, we talk to a lot of people in a day. You like today, I've talked to my friends, I've talked to my wife, I've talked to my kids, I've talked to my mom, my dad, and I've talked to many people. But what I always tell people is the person you talk to more than anyone else in the world is to yourself. So that when you talk to yourself, it should be kind. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. And if I could give any advice to anyone, it would just be kind. Just be kind, kind to yourself, kind to others, and it's such great karma. Sorry if that was a long answer.
And that is such an honest and warm answer. So thank you for answering. And I really appreciate the honest and candid, chat that we have. And I think that speaks well of your character. I know that you'll do well, and we look forward to seeing you on the runway. Um, is there anything else you want to add to our talk before? I'll give you a chance to say whatever is on your mind, and anything you want to say to your fan or anything before I bring this to a close. So you
Yeah.
okay with that? So
Yeah, yeah, totally fine. I just wanted to thank you for having me on. I appreciate you so much. It's such a great opportunity to be interviewed by Ku from Hmong Life. And to my fans, I appreciate each and every one of you. Your love and support always encourages me and pushes me forward. Um, yeah, I get so much positivity in my messages and on the comments, and I read each and every word that is said, and nothing is taken for granted. So I appreciate you all so much, and I hope that you continue to watch me on this journey and walk with me, and we'll do this together. Uplift each and every one of us in this community, in our Hmong community.
well, thank you. I really enjoyed our chat, and I look forward to seeing you a couple weeks from now.
Yeah.
And so everyone, this is Alex Vang Pom, and we talked about probably most of his whole life in about 25 minutes. So I really enjoy our conversation. Look forward to seeing you, and I appreciate all the fans out there. Thank you for the support. We have quite a few viewers. I really appreciate that. So everyone, I wish you good night. This is Q, live from Arizona for the time being, and so good night, everybody.
Good night.